Hey YouTube. So what do you see when you look out here besides absolutely beautiful, pretty little white flowers and greenery and an unkempt yard? Yeah, you see what I see. Right down here is food. And Pastor and I got here and we bought some steaks, but we have no vegetables here, and I wanted to do a little accoutrement for the meal. So guess what? I came out here and I picked it. So right here is curly dock, and I've shown it to you guys many times. I'm going to show it again. And this is, October, so it has kind of flourished. Usually you see it in spring. Big leaf, wavy edges, looks just like this, highly edible, tastes good. So I picked that. And then right next to it is this. I hope you're yelling out what it is when you see it. Yup, that's dandelion. It's got the spiky kind of leaves on it and also green. Good for you, good to eat. I stir-fried them up just like, any other vegetable that I would buy in a market to make my steak taste better. Then here's another one that's kind of, no, maybe that's not it. It's out here and it's kind of seeding out because it is so late in the season. But again, it's one I've shown you multiple times. Normally the top of the plant has a very light silvery dusting color, and the leaves look like a duck foot. Short little sword-looking, blade-looking leaves. This is lamb's quarter. Very good for you. So I came out and picked that, and then because I am that kind of gardener, that kind of prepper, if you look at this part of the yard, there's something edible here. Hopefully you're yelling out again, it's the onions! Because it is. Right here are the greens of the Jerusalem walking onions. And the onions themselves, if I dig way down in here and look for the base like that, let's see if I can find one, where it's kind of where the greens are growing out of. There are bulbs down in here too. They're just really small now. But you can cook the whole onion, and that's what I did. I chopped it up. I peeled this off, broke the root off, and I chopped it into sections, got rid of the dried stuff, and had fresh greens. And so that's what made the meal. I sauteed the steaks with those greens and the onions and a little bit of oil, and we had a delicious dinner. Nutritious, full of vitamins and minerals, really good for you. The vegetable part was free for nothing, and because we are trying not to be the typical overeating Americans, we didn't eat it all, so we've got leftovers of that steak, and I'll make another meal out of it. Also in this part of my yard, this is an herb bed. It's completely overtaken by two herbs. There was a battle. There were three of them in there. There was oregano, mint, and chives. And they're all perennial herbs, so they fought it out, and the mint and the chives have just taken off. Where the oregano was holding its own, but I kept digging it up to transplant it. And that's why it kind of didn't make it. So this is chives, who look a lot like onions too, in seed. But there's still plenty of chives, and it just looks like a really healthy grass. But it doesn't smell like it. It smells kind of like garlic and onion together. There's plenty of these. I picked these to flavor the steak with also. And these have been transplanted and gifted, and there's a whole bush down at Shofar growing from these, and I've shared them with my son's high school friends. I've shared them with lots of people who've come out here to move furniture for us, deliver things or store things, insurance adjusters. Everybody got samples from my plants because it's a good idea to have these kind of plants. When you are on the road, it's also good for you to be able to identify these edible plants. And there's more of these plants in my yard. I've done videos on it. I've got plantain in here, good for burns and scrapes and things like that. And I have clover, which is Also good in your salads, in your greens. You can dry the white tops or purple tops of it and make a tea. And the clover tea mixed with dried nettle tea makes a great hangover cure. So if you don't have any herbs where you are, plant some. If you live in an apartment, put them in a pot. Get those guys in there because plants like that are going to grow forever. Really a blessing. All right, see you next time. Shalom.